It is now 4 o'clock. I'd like to call the board meeting of the Baltimore City Board of Elections to order this Thursday, February the 19th at 4 a.m. We do have a quorum. You do have before you the agenda for today. Any questions, concerns, additions to the agenda?
I move that we accept the agenda.
Second.
It has been properly moved to second that we accept the agenda as printed. Any unreadiness, any unreadiness, any unreadiness? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed have a right. The ayes have it. Thank you. You should have received by email the minutes of our January 15th meeting. They're in your packets, or you should have received them electronically. Entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we accept the meeting minutes from January 15th as presented.
A second.
Has been properly moved to second that we receive the January 15th minutes as printed. Any unreadiness? Any unreadiness? Any unreadiness? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed have a right. The ayes have it. Thank you. Only comment the president has to have, I'd like to thank all board members who responded in a timely manner to the email that went out from Abigail and to from Director Tatum in reference to responding to your present, if you will be present at this month's meeting. All members responded, and I appreciate y'all responding to that call. Director's report. Oh, before I do that, pardon me. I'd like to introduce the guests first. Let us introduce the guests. Is there a mic circulating? Okay. If you would introduce yourself, we would greatly appreciate it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Misty McKeon. I work with the Baltimore Votes Coalition. Jocelyn Martin, League of Women Voters and former election. Susan Talbot, I'm a member of the League of Women Voters. Sandra Brushard, also from the League of Women Voters.
Chief Steve Silverman, representing self-interested persons.
Well, we'd like to welcome you all to this board, this month's meeting. Director's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. The director's report, which I provided to you within your folder, as well as to the members electronically, starts with the reference to the number of voter registration activities for as of January 2026. The active number of voters is 407,934. The inactives are listed there at 18,505, and the numbers canceled is 219,659,000. Candidates that have filed as of today, 39 candidates have submitted their applications to candidate qualifying applications to the office. The election polling place plan is proceeding. We are still pending approval with the state election board. There are a few changes that needed to be made to polling place addresses, and once we get that finalized, it will be presented to the state board and for approval. As staff has been working, there is a potential concern with the early voting site at Public Safety in Northwest, and DGS is working to determine whether the HVAC system and some other issues can be rectified before the early voting situation. If it cannot be, then we'll have to come back to the board to relocate that facility to another location. We have been searching for a different location, and we've identified what we believe will be an appropriate location, but we're waiting to see whether we can get the public safety resolved. And of course, the public safety houses two precincts at that facility for election day. So those two precincts, election day precincts, would also likely be moved.
Let me ask you this. What's our drop dead date to notify or for us to be notified if this will happen at public safety? Do we have a drop dead date?
We're looking toward the middle of March. If necessary, Abigail and I have discussed whether we could call an emergency meeting for this local board to get together so that we could then present it to the state board for approval.
Thank you.
As you may have seen in the local news over the past few days, there's a number of school buildings, school structures that are experiencing some winter weather issues. And we believe that those will certainly be resolved by the time we get into the June primary. But we're paying attention to the structures within the city.
Thank you.
The next item on the report is the election judges recruitment and training. To date, we've received applications from over 2,200 judges. You have within your packet an application statistics that demonstrates the breakdown of the judges who have applied as of today's date. We are continuously recruiting, and the state election board is also publishing recruiting for election judges statewide. And so we received a notice from the state, if not daily, weekly, of folks that have expressed interest to be election judges. So we're steady increasing our numbers. The number of technicians that have applied is 147, and we're well on our way to identifying 12 trainers for us to begin our trainer program. And we're working with the state to identify those and to solidify that program.
You know, of the 147 techs, is this inclusive of the ones, this is housed?
Yes, these are ours.
What's the number that we normally we get from the state?
We requested this time for 30.
So we're
looking at 100, less than, a little short of 200.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
The voter outreach activities for the month of January are listed here. I've included that the city of Baltimore has deployed a new website for the entire city organization, city structure, which includes our webpage as well. We have created some training videos, internal training videos that we will deploy out to the public to train or show folks how to find different data sets and different information on our website. And once we get those, I think they are actually active on our social media platforms. We'll do some additional outreach through some of the apparatus that we put together. And so that will be an ongoing operation for us. The website currently displays multiple languages. So you have to select at the very top of the website to have your language of choice to be displayed. So there's as you may recall, within the last meeting or two, we've made reference that based on language populations within the state, the city of Baltimore is now meets the threshold of requiring Spanish language to some of our voters. So that will go a long way in meeting that mandate from the state. And we'll have to take some additional steps to include certain forms that aren't translated by the translation button on the website itself, but we're well on our way to accomplishing that goal.
Is there what kind of quality control is there on the translate button?
It's provided by the city, by the Baltimore City IT department as well, but we'll follow up to make sure that we're getting a high percentage on translation. As part of our outreach program, we've created virtual PowerPoint presentations so that we can do some virtual trainings of different organizations as they make service requests from us. The first was a central committee qualifying presentation, so that if any one of the central committees had a request for us to do training on how a person could come into the office to qualify to be a candidate, we created presentations for both the Democratic Party as well as the Republican Party. We presented the Democratic Party presentation at the Democratic Central Committee meeting several weeks ago. We provided the presentation to the GOP a week ago, and we are scheduled to do a presentation with them tonight at their Central Committee meeting. And we will do that virtually. We've also created a virtual voter registration distributor training presentation. There's a number of people that would like to be voter registration distributors. And as you recall, the state passed regulations that require that training to be conducted by our office. And so we've determined that we might be able to provide a greater footprint if we offer the services virtually. There are a number of different counties in the state that offer virtual training. So we're taking the step in that direction as well to offer virtual training. And we anticipate that presentation being finalized within the next week or two to get into the training business in earnest.
And will you offer like pre-scheduled times where folks can sign up and get registered for it? Like the sign up form with dates that they can select?
Yes, one part of what we saw from one of the other counties is they have a sign up application, just like we do our judges application. So we will deploy that sort of application so that when people put their names on the list, we can consolidate how many people are attending any one particular training class.
Thank you.
The next item on the report is the 2027 budget activities. We're continuing to work with the Bureau of Budget Management Research regarding our fiscal year 27 budget. The budget department has provided a schedule of activities for March, April, and May. And so we're in line to participate in those activities.
I know it's an oversight on your part. The last presentation to the state senators, what did that include?
Yes, thank you for that. We presented to the Baltimore City Senate delegation last Friday, I believe it was, and we made a presentation on our strategy, our priorities for the upcoming year, and our election readiness. And all of our delegation was present for the presentation. It was a virtual presentation, and we had solid feedback on how we presented and got good feedback from the senators, and we'll continue that outreach communication.
I know you did in your own personal way. Let them know how they can assist us and what we need.
And in fact, thank you for that. During the presentation, several of the senators asked the state board if there was state funds to support the Board of Elections with improving our voter outreach program. And the state had a sort of a varied response as to whether state funds were available or not. The state certainly has funds for state level programming. And so the senators asked the question and spoke about attempting to identify funds that the city could use to expand our voter outreach program. And we also participated with the Baltimore Community College outreach event. And we are in continuous communications with Baltimore Votes. And as they're here today, we're still working towards standing up supporting their student election judge outreach program. And I think we've traveled a little distance. We've got a few little I's to dot and T's to cross, but we're looking forward to getting that off the ground. To supporting they're already off the ground, right? We've just got it.
I think I saw that you will be presenting something to the Baltimore Vote.
The Baltimore Votes Coalition. There's a presentation on March the 3rd, March the 10th, as I'm corrected. And I believe we are making preparations to present that on our website in our news release section, our newly created news section on our website. So we will utilize that button, and we'll also distribute that out to our to the infrastructure that we're starting to establish for community outreach.
Okay.
Will that be in person or virtually?
Virtual.
Virtual. Okay, thank you. Can we also get the link to that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
And the next on the item on the report is election readiness. All staff members are now reporting in person to the office, so we're all hands on deck to moving the election process forward. Candidate qualifying ends on February the 24th at 9 p.m. And the last day for candidates to withdraw after they've qualified for office is February the 26th, close of business. The last item on my report is the projects and status of activities. The warehouse relocation is pending, feasibility study, and the identification of new locations that may provide support for the warehouse relocations. We're still working with the mayor's office and with the comptroller's office to identify new locations. In today's board meeting, state board meeting, the board announced that they have issued an intent to award a new voting system to a new vendor or to a vendor, and that vendor is ES&S. That was announced at a Mayo meeting this morning, and also to the state election board members themselves during the public meeting.
Now, when you, if you can go, what do you mean a new system? Before the June election?
No,
Oh.
before the new. So for the June 2026 election cycle, we will use the current
Okay.
voting system, that we have,
Okay, thank
including the e-poll book. After the November 2026 election, we will be working to deploy the new e-poll book solution, as well as now the new voting system solution
2028.
for 2028. And the state announced that they are going out for RFP for the new voter registration system, and they anticipate that that will be on the horizon for 2030. It's hard to think about 2030. We've been 4 years away, but we'll be there before we know it. And last but not least, we are still focusing on the mission statement and the strategic plan. We've been, as it relates to a little office elections readiness activities, we've had to turn our attention to making sure that we were getting our election judges apparatus up to date and up to speed, as well as a training apparatus. So we've been a little delayed in finalizing the draft to submit to the board members for review, but it's not forgotten.
Yeah.
And that concludes my report.
You've heard the report coming from the director of the Baltimore City Board of Elections. Are there any questions of him in reference to his report or any other questions?
No questions.
I'm just wondering if there's a target number of applications for the election judge program.
Jeez. This question.
I'm sorry.
No, I was wondering if there was a target number of applications for the election judge program.
We are shooting for 3,000, with the understanding that we're likely to deploy about 25 to 2,700.
Okay, have we had that level of follow through in the past from applications?
Yes, we have. What I understand we've seen in the past is while we train the required number that we need, that the attrition leading up to election day sort of falls off to a degree that we don't have enough people in place. So the idea is to recruit and train more than we need, so that when we see that attrition, we'll be able to replace one for one.
Terrence or Maria, any questions of the director? Mr. Director, we greatly appreciate your in-depth report as usual. On behalf of the board, we appreciate your working with us and with the staff and trying to get this done. We know you're not used to Baltimore politics, but you're learning fast. And we'd like to commend you for the work you've done thus far and looking for greater things in the coming future.
Thanks, sir.
I'd just like to take a pause for a minute to, in my report, my remarks, thank the staff at the warehouse. Look like the warehouse is doing amazing. I always say don't do it too good, but you're really transforming this warehouse from where it was to what they would like to see, and we would be very proud of what you're doing. So I'd like to commend the warehouse staff for the work they
Yes,
do.
absolutely.
Report from the Assistant Attorney General.
Nothing to report, Mr. President.
That's a good. Good. Any old business to come before the body? Any old business to come before the body? Hearing and seeing none. Any new business to come before the body?
Mr. President, I
Yeah.
do understand that Ms. Vasily is having trouble with communicating. Can we see whether we can unmute her? Can you go to the,
I think she needs to.
yeah, I see you, Joe, it's not there.
Should we call back in?
Is she? mute-
So she can hear us,
herself?
but she can hear us, but she can't speak in.
Oh, okay.
She's got to unmute both her
She
phone.
got her
and-
phone on mute. She has to unmute herself.
Maria, can you see your mute button to unmute?
Got herself muted.
Should we call back in?
Maria, at the bottom of your screen,
She says she's not muted, but she
She,
is.
she may need to call back in because I see her muted
Yes, that's
and I can't unmute her.
right. She might not realize she has a button muted.
Do you see a request for her to unmute?
Okay, look, okay, it was just unmuted for a minute.
It's just unmuted for a second.
It says it muted her when she joined in.
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah.
hello? She's unmuted. She's unmuted. Go ahead. Hello?
Yes, go ahead, Maria.
Okay, hi, yeah, for some reason when I joined the call, I guess it just muted me, but, in any event, good afternoon, everyone. Just have one question regarding the, recruitment of judges. Would we potentially be able to get a breakdown, by party of the enrolled judges? And then as far as the breakdown goes, eventually, I'm sure, like, the director said, that they'll go through training. And after that training takes place, will we then be notified how many of the applicants were deemed eligible, or will there be some type of report, showing those that made it through the actual training successfully? So we can have that information to report that.
Yes, ma'am. Within your packet now, there is an application statistics that shows the breakdown of election judges, which includes a party breakdown. It shows a breakdown of the chief judges, including party breakdown, as well as provisional judges. And as we proceed forward into assigning judges to their polling locations, we will also have what's referred to as a parity breakdown, so that all can see what the party breakdown is associated to each polling location.
Director, would you be so kind as, she may not have this in front of her, to go through these numbers? Total judges, I
Yes,
think you got the
so-
breakdown.
The Total number of election judges is recruited applications received at this point is 1,931. And of that 1,931, there's 1,685 Democrats. There's 77 Republicans. There's 2 working party, 1 Libertarian, 147 unaffiliated, 14 other, and 5 Green Party. For chief judges, there's a total of 230, and that 230 is broken down into 139 Democrats, 42 Republicans, 47 unaffiliated, 1 other, and 1 Green Party. And for the provisional judges, there's a total of 68. And of that 68, 61 are Democrats, 2 are Republican, and 5 are unaffiliated. And Mr. President, I might add that perhaps about 30 days ago, a month or so ago, I submitted a request to both party chairs asking them to increase their efforts for recruitment to identify voters in their respective parties to sign up to be judges. So I'll redouble that effort to reach out to the parties to ask them to reach out to their voters.
Thank you. Does that answer your question, Maria?
Yeah, that was perfect. I didn't have that, on the document. I received it. Thank you for that clarification. And lastly, just, as far as, like I said, the trial of, training that they go through, I understand that there is, I think probably like a 3-hour course or so. And then you've got a few additional development. Would we be able to, because I know in the previous years, there were definitely some awesome stars, but there are definitely some individuals that were not so hot, if you will, that became problematic or just that weren't fully qualified. Will there be any sort of, I guess, report or litmus test to show, where we stand when we get the number that we're shooting for as far as these judges, or is there a process that we could potentially, I guess,
Yes.
go to the board to just see where we're at in terms of meeting that standard, so we can, shoot to get the best and the brightest for, the election.
Yes, ma'am. We are, as part of the training evaluation, there will be a performance evaluation for each judge to demonstrate that they understand the process and that they can actually perform the task that's being asked of them. And if judges aren't able to perform or demonstrate their ability to perform, then they will not be assigned to work at a polling location. And so there will be numbers associated to that.
Okay, thank you so much. I do appreciate that was not those questions you answered anything else. I appreciate those reports. I'm sure I did.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Any other questions of the director? Oh, we did that. Any other new business come before the board? Any other new business to come before?
I don't have any new business, just a comment. I want to just say thank you to the entire team. And director, the website is extremely optimized for mobile. And I love the new button for becoming an election judge. It's really spelled out nicely. And thank you so much for sending us the email that helps us to get out the word to become election judges. And again, thanks to the entire Board of Elections staff, which is being stalwart and getting prepared for the 2026 election. So thank you all for what you've done. Excuse my absence from last month. Had some family frontal issues to take care of, but thank you all so much for what you did. Thank you, Ms. Thank you, Ms. Abigail. Thanks, team.
Hearing and seeing no other business come before the body, the board. Our next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, March the 19th, 2026, here at the Baltimore City Board of Election warehouse. Move for adjournment.
I'm
Adjournment doesn't have to be second. So we are adjourned. Thank you everyone for coming.
You good?